Hi, I'm Leezá Steinorf. I'm an international leadership coach, a member of the Forbes Coaches Council, and I've helped thousands of leaders and learners around the world to find ease and unlock power that they didn't even know they had. And today we're diving into something that actually can steal your peace, and that's taking things personally. And I'll tell you right now, this is not about blaming yourself. It's not about looking at childhood trauma or memorizing another, I don't care what people think mantra. This is about learning how to separate fact from filter. It's super practical and incredibly useful. So you can stop spiraling and stop assuming and stop reacting to things that actually were never even about you. All right, let's get into it. So, have you ever had someone send you just a short text, but it ends with a period, and you instantly think they're mad at you? Or your partner sighs, like just breathes like a human, and suddenly you're sure that you did something wrong? Or maybe your boss says, can we talk? And you've emotionally quit your job and updated your resume and you're moving to another country before you even get to the meeting, right? We've all done this. Like we spin these stories. And the truth is harsh, but it's liberating. You're not reacting to what happened. You're actually reacting to the meaning that you gave it. And you can fix that. And that's what we're going to do. All right, so let's start with clarity, being clear about what's actually going on. And here's the cleanest truth that I can give you. Almost nothing that you take personally has anything to do with you, honestly. People react from their own stress, from their own insecurities and history, mood, chemistry, overwhelm, whatever, their culture, their upbringing, and their nervous system, right? The patterns that they've created. And meanwhile, you're interpreting their behavior through your stress, your insecurities, your history and overwhelm and cultural upbringing and your nervous system. So when you take something personally, what's really happening is that your filter is louder than the facts. Okay, let's break that down. I want to distinguish fact from filter. A fact is what actually happened. It's something measurable. The light is on, the sky is blue, it's 10:15 in the morning, whatever. Facts are things that can be established by many people using agreed upon measurements. It's objective. The filter of those facts is the meaning that we give it, the story, the interpretation, assumption, or an emotional conclusion that we come to about those facts. And we mix those up. Okay. So, for example, the fact is they did not text back for 3 hours, and your filter may be they're ignoring me. I'm not important. A fact, someone walks past you without saying hello, and you may filter to give it the meaning they're mad at me. I must have upset them. Another fact, your coworker's voice sounded flat on Zoom, and your filter is they don't respect me. I'm being dismissed. Right? So the suffering never comes from the fact, it comes from the filter that we give something. And here's the kicker, your brain fills in missing information with your worst fears, not your best truth. And that's based on patterning, which you can change. Okay? It's not personal failure. Your nervous system is trying to prepare you to keep you safe, and it's learned that this is the way to do it. And so you can teach it to prepare and help you a different way. All right, so let's bring this into lived experience. All right, let's go through ownership now. And this is your part, and it's not what you think, right? Ownership is your power move. It's not self-blame, not fault finding, not making yourself wrong. It's actually the part that gives you control in circumstances that you don't have any control over. All right, so here's your part. You are the narrator of your own mind. You're the only one in there that is directing the stories and the words that evolve. And we have patterns and we let certain things happen. We decide on what meanings we give things. We decide on the interpretation. And you decide which thoughts get oxygen, which thoughts get playtime. And you can change that, right? So your brain throws interpretations around like confetti, right? But you are the person who gets to decide. So you can either grab that confetti and create tragedy or suffering or meanings that are painful for you, Or you can just let it fall and walk right through it and know that actually all that confetti are just choices and you can choose the one that works for you. All right. That may sound simple. I'm not trying to make it sound that way, but with practice, it does get easier. I promise. So let's practice claiming back your power. All right. So there's three shifts that we can talk about in ownership. So there's three shifts that we can talk about in ownership. Okay. Number one is to recognize it's a filter. The moment you get that emotional zing, that sting, or you cringe or you contract, ask yourself, what's the fact and what's my filter? It's a simple question. And this question alone can save uh, arguments, friendships, relationships, reputations. It just slows things down and gives you a chance to discern. Okay, ownership shift number two. Stop assuming the motive, right? Assuming why someone did something is actually like doctoring your own x-ray. You're gonna make mistakes, unless you're a doctor, of course. So people rarely behave because of you. They act from their own stories, their own histories, as I said earlier. All right? So stop assuming motive. And shift number three, your worth is not up for debate. When you take things personally, it's almost always because your interpretation threatens your sense of self-worth. So imagine if you get that text, right? Short text, period at the end says, I have to cancel dinner on Friday night. And immediately your mind goes to, oh, they don't care about me. I'm not important. They found something better to do, right? So your worth is actually not dependent on other people's moods or their responses or their tone or timing or anything. Your worth is intrinsic. It's non-negotiable. It's not up for tender. So taking things personally actually wobbles your worth, but it's not a truth, right? A fact is something we can base things on. We can call that a truth, an objective truth. Then we have our internal truth, and that's what we decide about the meaning we give things. And you can create that. You can curate actually your experience of the facts and the world around you. It's really powerful. And all it does is it takes practice, which is what we're doing here. Okay, so let's look at resolution. And this is how you actually go about creating change and bringing into alignment things that aren't working with for you to bring them into alignment with what works for you and what your value system is. This is where we break the cycle. So these are the exact micro practices that I've used with CEOs, with municipal leaders, teenagers, parents, pilots, people from all over the world, dozens of countries. Okay, number one, fact check your brain in 5 seconds. Super simple. So what I said earlier with the shift. Number one, what do I know happened? What are the facts? And what did I add? So for example, I know they didn't respond. I added the meaning, I'm being dismissed or I'm not important. And there you've broken the pattern just by recognizing it. Okay. Number two, give the benefit of reality, right? You know this phrase, benefit of the doubt? Forget that. That's actually licensed pessimism. So give them the benefit of possibility. Maybe they're tired, maybe they're stressed, maybe their phone died, maybe family members are coming into town, maybe they're overwhelmed, maybe their boss told them they had to go to a meeting, maybe they're dealing with something personal they're afraid to share. Like it can be really anything. And all of those are more likely than you're not valuable or you're not important to them. Okay, number three, add a neutral interpretation. If you're interpreting anyway, you might as well add one that works for you, right? Your brain can get really super dramatic. Balance that out with something neutral. Well, they might be busy, or they might have had something unexpected come, or this probably has nothing to do with me, right? You're not denying something, you're giving it a neutral foundation, which is more comfortable for you and allows you actually to engage with the person. And number four, ask before you assume. So if it's important and it affects a relationship, If it keeps circling around in your mind, then just call them or write a text. Hey, I noticed that you canceled and I want to check something with you. Is everything okay between us? Like, just super simple. People are shocked at how liberating that can be. Just, as I say, speak the obvious. Okay, number 5, anchor into your worth before responding. So before you react, just take a breath, say, my value is not at stake here. That one thought, that one statement resets your nervous system. It puts you back in a position where you can respond equanimously. Okay. And number 6, remember, not everything is about you. Thank God. Right? Most people are not secretly running some psychological operation targeted specifically at your emotional stability. Like, they're just living their lives, just like you are, clumsily and imperfectly, honestly. That's what we're all doing. Okay, let's look at excellence. So, excellence is who you become when you stop taking things personally. It's where your potential and your greatness, your beauty can actually shine, right? You stop letting your filters run the show. You become steadier and calmer. You can be less defensive and more grounded, and people feel like they can approach you, right? And you can feel like you have more power, that you're more creative and not as anxious. Yeah. And the interesting thing is when you're in that place, it's harder to manipulate you. You're a lot more easy to love because you're being all of yourself. And here's the truth. Excellence is not something that you reach. It's actually who you are and what emerges when your judgment and your reactivity and your self-doubt fall away. So when you separate fact from filter and you show up from that center, not your panic or projection or old wounds, you become you, all of you. And you can listen before you assume, and you can take a pause before you react because you're more grounded. And that allows you to ask questions, to double check with your externals before you invent stories. And then whatever those stories are, you can then speak from your truth instead of speaking from fear. And the most important in all of this is that you hold your worth. It's not dependent on others. You don't have to seek approval. And you have then I'm going to say, the freedom to choose the meanings that you give to things instead of letting that old patterning choose for you. That's emotional maturity. And this is what I call mental hygiene. It's keeping your mental and emotional spiritual practices clean and light and clear. And this is the groundwork in action. So this version of you is exactly what the world needs. It needs more of you, not less. All right, so I'm going to offer you a practice for the next 48 hours. You can try this out. Every time that you feel triggered or slighted, just ask, what's the fact and what's my filter? And then choose one neutral interpretation, something that kind of balances things, that lets you move on to the next step. Just one. It'll change your entire experience. So if this resonated and you want more tools to communicate clearly and navigate conflict without losing your center and actually like who you are in the process, then go ahead and like the video and subscribe. You can also connect with me. There's a link here below. You don't need to fix yourself. You just need to find your center. And I'd love to help you do that. Be well.